get through this and possibly get stuck, but I need to maybe ask questions, maybe try it again, maybe read carefully, you name it. Okay, so compass directions, I can tell you already, it's going to be somewhat tricky after a while. Maybe not right off the bat, but it does get complicated. And a test usually has one or two of these in there. In some cases, you'll be given compass directions. So south 30 degrees west. It essentially, right, gives you the direction of one of the sides, right? It will give you the direction of one of the sides of the resulting triangle. It is important to read these carefully, since the angles, this is the one that some students think it always like, oh, that's an angle, so it's going to be part of my triangle. And unfortunately, it's not the case. Sometimes it's actually going to be outside the triangle when you're said and done. So you have to bring it in, okay? You should include a compass rose to get started, right? You need a compass rose to get started. And I'll give you a note. The note, I'll talk about it once we've done a few examples, okay? So let me just have my notes ready to go as well. Okay, so north, when you see this, north, you read it from left to right, north 25 degrees west. What does that mean? Well, you start north, right? So you kind of, this is your starting point. And then you have to turn towards either west or east, right? And it's telling you to turn towards west. And it's telling you to turn 25 degrees west. So I kind of just, this is where you start, just move up a little bit towards north, and then kind of just go off like that towards the west. And if you have a ruler, I will, from the center, kind of go that way. And that's the direction that I'm heading. And the 25 degrees would go between the north and the actual direction you're traveling. Okay? This is direction of travel. Okay? That's the direction that car or plane or eagle or what have you, or canoe, right? Anything, right? A lot of these questions would involve a ship, a boat, canoe, something that flies. Because let's face it, can you just go north 25 degrees west in the city? No, you can't go through somebody's backyard, right? Like you can't just cross people's. Maybe a drone question would be, but these usually have to do with navigating through an open, right, a forest or something like that. Okay, so I want to tell you that what it reads, what this reads is north 25 degrees west. That's exactly what it reads. Like when you see that, that's how we talk about it, right? And what does it mean? It means this, right? And this is probably important for if you look back at your notes, right? Start measuring, okay, from north, right, comma, then turn 25 degrees west. Okay, so that's, has anybody used a compass to navigate through a forest before? Right? Sort of, it's a very important skill, right? Like actually to know how to find your way through a forest, right? But we're not used to it because we're always in the city, right? A lot of times. There's roads and stuff. So I just want to make a note right off the bat. Southwest, right? Obviously, we know that that's southwest. It is actually saying south 45 degrees west. Like if you actually are perfectly in between this 90, because remember, north and east, all of these make a 90 degree here. So if you're going south, northeast, for example, you're going perfectly at a 45 degree angle. So if that ever happens, you might be like, Mr. Jason, where are the degrees, right? Southwest, like I need degrees. Like it is basically saying that there's a 45 in between them. Okay, let's keep going. South, 15 degrees east. So again, you start south and then you turn 15 degrees east. So it's just a small angle, right? 15 degrees. And then just make and then start at the center of the compass rose and just, that is the direction you're traveling. And the 15 would go right in there. Okay. I have to mention this. Well, if this is 15, right? Is it possible to get this angle in here? Yeah, just take that away from 90. But I'm not going to focus on that so much. It does come in handy from time to time. Okay. So anyways, should I do the reads means? I think you're good with that, right? I don't need to do what it reads and what it means. It's the same as up here. Okay. So I'm just going to continue my journey here. So what if you have to go the other way? What if I'm asking you to state the compass direction if I just gave you one of these? How would you do it? Francis? Well, not necessarily always north and south. Where is this angle? This angle is in here, right? So I would start with, in this case, I would start with this dashed line, which represents east. Do you get that part? East. And then you turn 32 degrees. Which way? South. Right? But let's state the obvious here. What's the inside? What is this angle right here? We'll use a different color. What's the 58? So this is where it gets a little tricky. What's the dashed line here? So you can say, or go south, start south, right? Start this dashed line and then turn 58 degrees east. Say what? I'm not going to ask you to do both. Like I will always ask you to just do one. Okay, so don't be too alarmed by this. So I will stop doing the two options. Okay. What about this one here? I would focus on where's the angle. It's in here. Then I go to the dashed line, which represents north, and then I'm just going to go 71 degrees towards west. Done. Right? So you got to be able to read, like if I give you one of these, just give me what the direction is saying, right? Okay, now we got to add another layer to it. You can head in that direction a certain distance, right? It's like, hey, go this direction for 3 kilometers, because we need to know how far should I go, right? So let's add that to the mix. Isn't it nice not to have to copy all of this? It's all there. You just have to fill it in, right? All right. Compass direction word problem cases. Note that it is impossible, guys. It's impossible to cover all scenarios. I can't give you every single scenario, right? But you will get the idea after doing a couple. Okay. Sketch the following scenarios based on the description given. So watch this. This is where it gets, where I kind of add the word problem to it, right? You see a tree that is due east of you. Highlight that. Something is due east of you. It's an interesting saying, but it's actually going to be very important. From the same location, you notice that a deer is standing north 40 degrees west of you. Okay? How far is the deer from the tree? So this is our unknown part there. So we have lots of space, so why don't we just use it? This is you, right? And I would always suggest make a little compass rose like this. Wherever your starting position is, make a compass rose. especially when you notice that there are compass directions. And I don't know why, but some students mix up east and west. I mean, it happens, right? But make sure maybe on your study sheet you tell yourself, right? If you read it from left to right and it says you, then you have it wrong, right? It's got to be we, right? So maybe that's something that helps. Or do the never eat soggy wieners, whatever helps you. Anyways, so this is you, and there's a tree due east of you. So that means that if it's due east, it's actually straight east like this. So this is the tree. This is you. Okay? If something is straight due east, it's exactly going horizontally in this case. If something is due north of you, you go straight north, right? You could look right north to it. If something is due south, it's underneath you, okay? And so the other one is there's a deer standing north 40 degrees west. So we got to start north, and then we turn 40 degrees west. And we're just going to go like this. Be very careful here. This is a dashed line. The 40 goes here between the dash, right? Between the dashed line and the deer. So way over here, I'm going to go deer. Okay? And now you have your triangle. Watch this. Because they're asking you for the distance. I'm going to use a different color for this one. Because this is the one that is a result of what the question is asking you. Okay? So this is your unknown. This is what the question would be asking you. Is there a way to figure out the angle at this corner here, right here? What's this one here? It's a 90. Only because, listen carefully, only because we are actually on the east line here. This side of the triangle happens to be on the east line. So there's a 90 here. Okay, so there's a 90 and a 40. So angle Y is 90 plus 40, which is 130 degrees. So those are things that you later put together. And but this, I just wanted you to practice, like, okay, with a compass direction question, how does that work? And let me tell you, there's always a triangle, and sometimes you might have to do a bit extra. What is this note saying here? If something is due east of you, it means that it would be perfectly aligned with you horizontally, right? Same with west. Like if it's east or west, it's like straight sideways of you. Okay? Don't forget that. Some students assume it's always the case. It's not always the case. You have to watch for the due east or due west or due north or something like that. Okay, I'm turning up the heat, okay? Question 12. You travel 12 kilometers in the direction north 30 degrees east. Very important. Distance and direction. Now this is, have you done vectors in do you do vectors in physics? Yeah? So direction and distance now, okay? Then you turn, watch that, that's very important. You turn, underline and highlight, and you head north 50 degrees west for 7 kilometers. That's your second direction. How far are you from the starting point? I left you a lot of room for a reason. So let's just start somewhere over here. And when it's compass directions, guys, do the dashed line thing. Right? So this is my start. And be okay with erasing. Okay, guys? Be okay with erasing. You will be like, oh shoot, if I do it here, then I'm running out of space, right? Then just move your compass arrows over here and start again. Like don't be so upset about that. Anyways, north 30 degrees east. So north 30 east, that's my direction. And I'm just going to go out like this. And I put the 30 goes in here. And this side length is actually 12 kilometers. Okay. And it says, now you turn and you go north 50 west. What's happening? The turn, guys, I will call this turn. And when it gives you another compass direction, do another one of those. Right on that dot where you ended up. So this is north. This is telling us we go north, and then we go 50 degrees west for 7 kilometers. Put the 50 in here between the dash. The 50 degrees go in there. And now, once you've copied that, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better because it's pretty small, right? There, look at that. Okay. So this would be simply reading the question and putting it on paper. One mistake that a lot of students make is students want this side to line up perfectly with where they started. It is a natural instinct. You're like, it just looks better, right? Don't do it. Do not make that assumption. I will actually tell you to always go less or shoot over it, past it, but never line up perfectly like this. Okay? So this here, they're asking us now, how far would you be from your original location? Okay? This is my x, my unknown. Okay? Hold on, we're not done yet. But Mr. Dirksen, it's so hard. I'll guide you through it. Question, is this 30 part of the triangle? No. I actually, by doing what I just told you to do, I made sure you understand that 30 is between this dashed line here and this side. So it's not inside the triangle. So what I will ask you to do is this. Let's copy this one right next to it. Just make a copy of that triangle and we're going to start transferring information. Let's call this end here. This is where you end up. So we're going to call this S, T, E, like that. Okay, I know this is 12 kilometers, no problem. I know this is 7 kilometers, no problem. I need at least one angle, guys. I need one angle inside this thing. What is this line here and this line there? They're parallel, right? Do you remember the parallel line? It's going to creep up again. So do this, right? You do like a parallel line thing here. So what does this 30, what can we do with the 30? Cross the transversal and put it right there. I was telling you, everything is connected, right? That 30 follows you. And how can I make, how does that help me to get an angle inside here? Yeah, Jeremy. So there's a straight line here, which is 180. Take these two away from 180. Is that what you were all thinking? I hope you were thinking it. Okay. So angle T is 180 minus 30 minus 50. And if you have a different highlighter, I will do this. Okay, I love highlighters, as you can tell. Right, the 30 is there. The 50 is there. I'm taking that away from 180. And is that exactly 100? No way. No way. Okay, boom. That angle on a test is going to be worth like a full mark, right? Because you had to like work hard to get that. So this comes in here. And what would you use to solve that triangle? Side angle side, which is SAS cosine law, right? Don't tell me I have to use SAS to solve it, okay? Cosine law. I know that SAS tells you, right? But don't tell me that. Anyways, this is what I'm going to tell you to try, okay? If you go to page 8 in the workbook, not all of them are compass questions. There's maybe one or two. So do everything else on page 24. This is on the bottom of page 24. Just highlight that. Okay. Trig review A. There's trig review B and C. That don't do that just yet. Just do trig review A and look for the compass direction question. And I will post the answer key to the, you know, that quiz we did on Friday. I will post the answer key. There's also a compass direction question on there. If you want to try that, then you can also look at how that would have been done. Okay. Thank you, guys.